Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are going to unlock one of the most fundamental building blocks of all mathematics. Seriously, it's a concept that seems so simple on the surface, but it is the absolute key to so much more. So let's get started and master the world of sets and subsets together. And hey, I want to give a huge special shout out to all the amazing students from Romblon State University. This explainer was made just for you to help you absolutely crush it in your Mathematics in the Modern World course. We've totally got your back. All right, so here's our mission for today. We're going to start with the basics. What is a set? Then we'll learn the language to describe them, dive into sets within sets, and discover the crazy power of the empty set. After that, I'll show you a cool trick to count every single possibility, and we'll wrap up by talking about why all of this really matters. Let's do this. Okay, let's dive right in. Section 1. What is a set? Think of this as the ground floor. It's the absolute foundation you need before we can build up to all the other cool ideas in math. So what even is a set? Well, it's just a collection of distinct objects, and we call those objects elements. Now, the key phrase here is well-defined. That just means we can tell with 100% certainty if something belongs in the set or not. There's no guesswork, no maybes, it's either in or it's out. To make this crystal clear, just picture a bowl of fruit. That bowl, that's your set. Let's call it set F. And what's inside? Well, those are the elements: an apple, an orange, a banana, and a pear. We can say for sure that a pear is in the set, right? And we can say for sure that, a screwdriver is not. See? Simple. Okay, so now we know what a set is, but we need to learn how to speak the language. In mathematics, there are two main ways we write and describe sets, and knowing both of them is going to make you super flexible. Think of it like this. On one side, you've got the roster method. This is like a literal guest list for a party. You write down the name of every single person or element that's invited. Then you've got set builder notation. This is more like describing the dress code, everyone wearing a blue shirt. One just lists them out, the other describes them. And here's a perfect example of both methods describing the exact same thing, the set of vowels. The roster method is easy, right? It just lists them, A, E, I, O, U. The set builder notation describes them. You'd read it out loud like this. V is the set of all elements X such that X is a vowel in the English alphabet. See? Two different roads that lead to the exact same place. Okay, you've got sets down. Let's level up. What happens when you have sets that kind of live inside of other bigger sets? This is where the whole idea of subsets comes into play, and it's all about relationships. So here's the one rule you have to remember for subsets. A set, let's call it A, is a subset of another set B if, and this is the most important part, every single element from A is also found inside of B. Not some of them, not most of them, all of them, every single one. I love this analogy. Seriously, picture it. Your main set is a big toolbox. Inside that big toolbox, you've got a smaller, separate box that only has screwdrivers in it. That little box of screwdrivers is a subset because every single item in it is also a tool that belongs in the larger toolbox. All right, pop quiz time. Let's get those brains working. Look at these two sets right here. Is set A with the numbers 1 and 2 a subset of set B, which has 1, 2, 3, and 4? What do you think? Yes, absolutely. And why? Because we just followed the rule. We check every element from A. Is the number 1 in set B? Yep. Is the number 2 in set B? Yep, it's there too. Since every element from A found a home in B, it is officially a subset. You're getting this. Now, let's get a little more specific for a second. There's something called a proper subset. This just means that not only is it a subset, but it also has to be smaller than the original set. It can't be exactly the same. So our set 1, 2 is a proper subset of 1, 2, 3, 4. But a set can never be a proper subset of itself. Okay, let's switch gears to a really special and honestly super powerful idea in the world of sets. It might sound a little weird at first, but the concept of a set with absolutely nothing in it is one of the most important rules you're going to learn. So meet the empty set. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. A set with 0 things in it. No fruit, no numbers, nada. You can write it with that cool circle with a slash symbol, or just a pair of empty curly braces.
Now listen up, because this is a big one. This is a golden rule you need to memorize. The empty set is always considered a subset of every single set that exists. It's kind of this weird logic puzzle, but the reason is you can't find an element in the empty set that isn't in another set, because there are no elements in there to even check.
So we know what sets are, we know what subsets are, but what if I told you there's a super fast way, almost like a cheat code, to figure out exactly how many subsets you can make from any set without listing them all out one by one? Let's get practical.
I mean, that's the big question, right? If you've got a set with 3 elements, or maybe 5 or even 10, how many different combinations can you possibly make to form new subsets? It seems like it would get complicated fast, but trust me, it's not.
Boom, there it is, the magic formula. It is simply 2 to the power of n. So it's n. N is just the number of elements in your set. That's it. This beautiful, simple little formula gives you the answer every single time.
Okay, let's do one together right now. Look at set C with the elements 1, 2, and 3. Step 1. How many elements are there? 1, 2, 3. Easy, so n equals 3. Step 2. We plug that 3 into our formula, which gives us 2 to the power of 3. And step 3. Let's do the math. 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So there have to be exactly 8 subsets.
And just to prove it wasn't some kind of magic trick, here they all are. Let's list them. First, you've got the empty set. Don't forget that guy. Then you have the subsets with just one element each. 1, 2, and 3. Then you have all the pairs. 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3. And finally, you have the original set itself, which is always a subset of itself. And if you count them up, that's exactly 8. The formula works. We have covered a ton of ground, but I really want to end by connecting all these dots. I mean, why did we just do all of this? The reason is that mastering sets is your key. It's your foundation for success in pretty much the rest of mathematics. So why does this matter? Because sets are how we organize the world. They let us categorize things, explain how different groups are related, and give us a powerful way to describe really complex ideas. Seriously, almost everything that comes next for you, whether it's probability or computer science, it all starts with the foundation we built right here, today. Which kind of makes you wonder, is there anything that can't be described as a set?
I really hope this explainer helped and that you're feeling way more confident. And if it did, please help us make more content just like it. Go ahead and smash that like button, and most importantly, hit subscribe on our class channel, No Problem, Only Solution. It is the absolute best way to keep mastering mathematics in the modern world together. Thanks so much for learning with me today.